to the Fireside Podcast. As you might have noticed, we've now got intro music. Thank you to Ryan who made this for us, and we'll post his links to his Facebook and his Instagram in the description of this. We'll move on and we'll meet who we're talking to this week. I've got Matthew Thompson.
Hello, folks.
Billy Kirkpatrick.
Howdy.
Craig Gregor.
Evening.
And Ross Stewart.
Hi guys, hope we're all doing well.
And we almost had a full card of Premiership and Championship action at the weekend there. If it hadn't been for Dundee having an absolutely wank pitch, that game was postponed. But we'll move on. We've got our first game, came on Friday night, and it was Ayr United 0, Hearts 1.
Yep, I hope everyone was watching that because it was on the telly. Nice to see the honest men getting some airtime.
As Hearts, another game in the telly for them. It's been quite a few so far this season.
I think it's hard to ignore Hearts. You can't really just be like, oh yeah, they're like the biggest team in the league, and then I think they're just going to get loads of TV games like wherever they go, whoever they play, really, aren't they?
Tell you what, it's quite a good game, especially to have on the telly. I know, Craig, you watched the entire 90 minutes. You want to tell us about the game?
Yeah, I actually was quite impressed with the way I started. We took the game to Hearts at times where a lot of the football in like the first 15-20 minutes was played in Hearts half. It was some good passing moves from here, and the front four really seemed to link up quite well. Just didn't really create many chances, but the movement was there, and it just another day could have maybe done a wee bit better, but it was a good start.
I agree. It was a good performance from here. It's nice to see as well because they've had a sort of run of bad form coming up to the turn of the year, and also Hearts in the form that they're in. It was nice to see them give them a game, and overall, I'd probably say they were unlucky not to get something from the game. It felt like the kind of game where a draw would have been a sort of fair result, I'd say. You trying to talk there, Billy?
Sorry, just couldn't get the words out.
It's all right.
Yeah, it was a good game. I was really impressed with the striker Andre Wright. He was a big physical presence and dominated the Hearts defence. He was unlucky not to score.
That makes a fucking difference. I thought you said he was going to be gash.
Well, so far I'm proven right with my statements. He's not
Proven
scored
right,
yet,
good
but
one,
he did
Bill.
put in a good physical performance.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've much preferred him. Obviously, I'm going to say this, but he seemed to do more as like the big striker than what Nandwile did for Hearts. In my opinion, anyway, he seemed to perform that role better.
Yeah, he seemed to have a bit of a quieter game.
Yeah.
I'd say overall.
Well, one of the first talking points that happened in the game was Hearts seemed to have been denied a penalty in the first half. In my opinion, was close to Stonewall. But what do you think about that one, Bill?
Excuse me. I've seen them given.
Exactly.
Is my
so
my answer to that.
in an unbiased world, that means it's a Stonewall penalty.
I was
given.
actually
I've
quite
seen them
surprised it
given.
wasn't given,
Yeah,
to be honest.
it was a
at first.
Stonewall penalty.
Yeah, it looked a penalty. But
Yep.
Obviously,
I think the rest
Was not given.
they must have lost track on what was a penalty and what wasn't after the one that the Hearts was given.
Well, one person who seemed to think it was a penalty was Robbie Nielsen. Would not stop going on to the fourth officials, and the referee ended up getting himself a yellow card for his moaning in the first half.
He comes across as just a prick, to be honest.
That's what he is.
Slander.
Yeah,
He's
that's
quite
just-
arrogant.
I'm sorry to
across
Robbie
me.
if he is listening.
I'm not.
And even once half time came, straight on the pitch, straight into the referee's face, moaning. Like, was lucky not to get himself another yellow for that.
Yeah, I know.
The referee handled the situation well, though.
Yep. Well, aside from the fact that he still doesn't know what a penalty is and what isn't, but other than that,
Yeah, what do people think of the actual penalty that was given? Bizarrely.
I think the referee just doesn't know the handball rule, is what it seems like. Either that or he just missed the fact that it's hit off Jack Beard's leg before it hits his arm. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he's seen it, but hit off his leg then onto his arm. 'Cause I think if he did see it, I don't think he'd have gave a penalty.
well,
It's a poor one.
well,
what I'll
look,
say.
all we can
It's,
say is Robbie Nielsen's seen it back, and it said it was a stone ball penalty because it's hit his arm. So we can assume
Well,
that
argue
Robbie
with
Nielsen's
that.
got that one right as well.
Aye.
But apart from that, I don't really think either team's goalie had much to do. I think
Yeah, obvious.
Ayr had no shots on target and Hearts maybe had 2 or something in the full game.
Yeah, it probably wasn't. It was a decent game to watch, but there wasn't many clear cut chances really for either team. So it could have went either way. It's just unfortunate for Ayr that they've been robbed.
Yeah, they probably deserved a draw. A goalless draw would have been a fair result, to be honest,
Yeah.
Felt like it was going that way. For
judging
me.
by both teams' performances.
Well, that result and the other results that week, the weekend, left Ayr in a position where they're 3 points away from the relegation playoffs, but also 3 points away from the promotion playoffs. Just shows how open that league is.
Apart from Hearts, they're going to run away with it.
Yeah.
And Alloa, who are probably going down.
Well, that
Hey. Well, you know what? Alloa could catch our growth. They've got a game in hand, and they're only 3
Yes,
behind.
but it's Alloa.
You say
Well-
it's Alloa, but we'll get on to them at some point.
You say it's
that
Alloa
moves on to our,
because Alloa did win at the weekend, 2-1 against Queen of the South, Whipping Boys. Shocked me. I didn't expect that to happen.
Queen of the South aren't a very good team, to be fair. So
I know, but
Hush.
neither are Alloa.
Do you think the delay in the kick-off time may have affected Queen of the South? Given the travelling and then...
possibly, but they're professionals.
Well,
A wee half-hour delay shouldn't affect them too much.
No, I think you go in your mindset, you prepare for something, then up until about 45 minutes before kick-off, then it all of a sudden changes. It's a bit...
Depends as well, because I don't know what Alloa's situation is for away teams, because obviously away teams can't use the dressing rooms. So I don't know where
Don't
they're
know, is it like a container?
situated it there.
Maybe they're in the KFC.
Yeah.
Or maybe they go into the KFC,
KFC.
toilets.
I think that is where
They're in the
I
KFC.
think it must be. You've got the answer there.
must be KFC.
We'll swiftly move away from that game because we're going to talk about Arbroath 2, Dunfermline 0, in a game that probably shouldn't have gone ahead because that wind was terrible.
When, as the Dunfermline manager quoted the referee saying that the weather was farcical before the game, but he still let the game go on. I don't know too much where that was fact from them or not, but
Well, it
Yeah.
made it a bit more of an
I think
enjoyable
it's-
watch. Nothing
Yeah.
else.
Oh, well, exciting. But yeah, you see, it's like what 7 minutes into the game or something. The goalie tries to kick the ball and it just comes straight back. Well, essentially straight back to him. Just kind of goes up and floats around in there, and he's kind of watching. He's like, "Where's this going?"
yeah, it was one of those games where you really need to win the coin toss and get that first the pick for
The
which side,
advantage.
because
Yeah.
that is one of the ones where the advantage does actually happen from winning the coin toss. Yeah.
Arbroath did take advantage of it. It was a bit of a calamitous first goal from O'Brien, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not a bad hit, but it was a bit of a deflection. I don't really know what's happened.
I couldn't really tell what happened. I just sort of laughed at it.
I think it does take a rather large deflection, and then if it's going goal bound and then a deflection like that, it's just going to take it away from the goalie, not give him
Yeah.
much options.
No, I agree.
And
I don't
with the
think,
wind as well, it doesn't help.
No. I don't think Dunfermline really turned up much. And given the fact that for the last couple of weeks I've been saying they've been playing pretty well. It was a pretty poor performance all round. Obviously, the conditions wouldn't have helped. But
Yeah, that's Sabroth now. 5 runs, 5 runs, 5 wins. Now on the trot, I believe.
5 wins? No, Drew, it's
Oh, that's
five.
enough.
5 without a loss.
To be fair, that's a win in some
I
people's
think that's
books.
also
What? 5 wins in the bounce, and they've only got 14 points. Don't know how that's happened.
I think that's also confirmed one. They've only got 1 win in 6, I think. Which I was quite surprised when I
Yes.
seen that. I thought they were on quite a good run.
And they're still in third. Because nobody can put a run of results together.
No.
Apart from Hearts. Well, and even they've struggled at times, haven't they?
Well, the second goal, it came not long after the first one. It was another long range just kind of hit, and I think it might batter off the post and just come flying back out to an Arbroath player. He just taps it away.
Yeah. Nah, exactly that. It's a good instinct as well to get on
Yeah,
the rebound, but it probably should. The defence should
It
probably
was
be doing
it
a
was
bit better.
almost celebrated like they hadn't scored though. It was quite bizarre. From watching it, they were like the ball went in the back of the net, and the players all just kind of turned and looked at each other. Before they eventually actually kind of like ran away and got the game going again.
Yeah.
It was strange. It kind of caught me off guard. I was like, is the ball actually gone in the net there, or are they just running away?
They maybe
Yes.
thought they could get more.
It was
Maybe
a
it's
good-
one of those ones where just get the ball, score more goals.
Well, I guess when
They didn't score any more goals.
you've got that wind
No.
advantage, you want to try and take it. But that one, so it was a good first half from Arbroath, but Dunfermline didn't really seem to do much with the wind. I don't know where the wind had died down come the second half, or they just didn't really know how to handle it. To be honest, how to control it.
It looked as if they were playing a lot of
Must have just
passes,
not
like a
liked
lot of
the
ground
wind.
balls as well. It's as if they were trying to keep the ball on the ground, which is fine, but they weren't really trying to take advantage of the conditions at all. And they didn't play particularly well.
I think sometimes teams do get a bit like scared when they're playing in the wind that if they do play too many aerial balls, like it's going to go out of control. They're going to not be able to like build up play very well and score a goal. So they do play it on the deck quite a lot.
Yeah, I think obviously Dick Campbell, the Arbroath manager, said the opposite. He was wanting them to shoot on sight, and I think, especially with that wind, I think it's worth a go because if the ball's swirling, you never know. It makes it difficult for a keeper to save.
No, I agree.
But I think that covers that.
That
Yeah,
covers
pretty
that game. The other game in the championship was Morton 0, Wraith 1. Bit of a nothingness affair. I don't have anything to say about it.
No, just
No,
another win for Wraith, keeping their consistent run of win-loss, win-loss going.
yep. And who they playing next? Ayr. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So
Yep, Ayr.
it's a loss. So
I'll keep it going. Right.
Yep, and obviously the other game that was meant to be played in the championship, Dundee v Inverness, was postponed because the pitch was unplayable. Was that an inspection that happened the day before the game?
it did, yeah. I think Dundee have a drainage problem in their pitch just now, which is causing many call-offs. I believe
Yeah, it doesn't look
they're
great.
playing here tomorrow night, and I believe they've got a pitch inspection at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning for that one. So
Doesn't
It
surprise
is a
me.
bog.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Yep.
get my hopes up for that one going ahead. Unfortunately.
And we'll jump to the Premiership, and we'll start ourselves in Glasgow. Celtic 2, Motherwell 1. Celtic continuing their dazzling form.
That's how you describe it.
I thought that Celtic started really well. First half was just like 1-0 going on about 4-0 maybe. Like early goal coming through Stephen Welsh, 2 minutes in or something like that. It's just David Turnbull shouldn't be allowed to take corners. It's illegal how good that ball is in.
Yeah.
And Stephen Welsh is just barely has to jump for it and nods at home.
Yeah, I think Celtic need to start putting Ryan
over
Christie
the
back
man
in
on the
corners.
line. Yep. Need more inconsistency in those balls in.
Yeah, it's much
I
better.
think then shortly after that, some people believe Motherwell should have had a penalty. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think it was ever a penalty, but I've seen quite a lot of tweets
Sorry,
about it. It was quite a.
Is this the one that was outside the box, or is that later in the game?
The one that was out,
The one
that
that was
was
a yard,
quite
a
clearly
yard
outside the box.
I've seen a fair few
Yeah.
folk mention it, but I have to say, even looking
Sorry,
at it from slow mo, it was outside the box.
Can we just clarify, were these some people a member of the Blind Rangers Fans Association? Just checking.
I only see what appears in my timeline. Could be that.
So probably.
Well, they don't. They don't, so that's the whole point.
Yeah, that was not for me. No chance. Outside the box, and yeah, it's not the greatest free kick either. When they eventually,
No, I think Craig.
I mean,
would
at the
have
end of
caught
the day,
free kick.
you give them a penalty, but when you've got a goalie like Scott Bain in nets, was he in nets actually? Yeah, he was. You put
He
Scott
was
Bain
in
it was
nets,
in nets.
He's
Yeah,
saving it. Doesn't matter. He's that good.
It is. It's just really good. I think Craig's having a heart attack.
Yeah, it does look like it.
I wish you
Sorry.
guys could see what we are seeing. Craig is uncontrollably coughing with tears in his eyes.
Yeah. No, it was for me. It was 1-0 going on about 4-0 in the first half.
Yeah, there was a good battle.
It's just like it actually looked again more like Celtic again. Like the fast build up, the creating chances. I think Odds-on Edward missed one at one point.
He did,
He
yeah.
did.
Missed a fairly decent chance.
Yeah, just wide to the post. That was a good one.
I think that's probably one of the best halves of football Celtic have had all season. They're actually unfortunate not to capitalise. I know Kelly made a few decent stops, but I reckon
Yeah,
they
he
should have
did.
been cruising.
Yeah, well, it continued after half time because Odds-on Edward scored again. He's on a decent run of form in scoring goals, and
7 goals in 7 games.
it's really nice build. Yeah, it's really nice build-up play. Just the passing from the midfield, and Odds-on Edward gets himself involved a little bit, and then just like comes out the box and comes round and just puts it past the
It was
goalkeeper.
a cool finish.
Really nice finish from the edge of the box. And the goalkeeper's looking at his defenders like, "How have you not done something about that?" But
It's just
it's good to see Edward doing that again.
It's just his movements, some unbelievable just to get that half-yard space.
Everyone's movement in the Celtic team for the second goal is really good as well, actually.
Yeah, it was the finish from Edward. A finish seen Celtic have in the past few games. It's that just low finish from the edge of the box into the bottom corner.
Yeah, they're playing a bit better.
And if it works, then fair play.
One thing I will say from watching the highlights is that there was still a couple of set pieces where they don't look comfortable defending it. I can't remember who it was
I
from
still think
Motherwell,
that's
but
a massive issue.
yeah, they got
Mugabe
pretty
had a
much a
free
free
header.
header in that. Yeah, in the 18-yard
Mugabe.
box. Yeah, he really should have done better, and that should have been them back in it there. They obviously
For
did
me,
get
the
their
issue
goal.
is that the centre halves don't have a consistent goalkeeper, so they don't have they're not playing with the same guy, and then the goalkeeper's not got the same back four in front of him all the time with the centre half issues that there's been this season. And then when you think Neil Lennon's getting a good lineup going, a good back four, he'll just come out of nowhere and just change it. So yeah,
To talk about
Bizarre.
the goal, obviously, the shot did
Scott Bain's the worst
it did
goalkeeper
take
in
a
the world.
deflection, but the guy Scott Bain did not jump very high at all to try and he just
There's actually some memes going about the way that he jumped for the ball that I've seen.
Yeah, it gave me serious Jordan Pickford vibes. He's only got little arms, and he's not reaching that one, unfortunately. I think that's one of the biggest issues Celtic have got going into the summer, to get a solid, consistent goalkeeper that they're not going to give to Hearts. That's the aim.
Well, they've got, in my opinion, two all right young Scottish goalkeepers, and you think at this point in the season, they should just be given chances.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
do you,
two good
do you
young
not
goalies.
think? Do you think Scott Bain has the right to try fight for his place, or do you think after recent
I
performances
thought you were going to say, do you
that's him
think Scott
done?
Bain's young?
Just do you think he has the right to fight for his place, given he's probably
No.
second choice at this minute in time?
No.
Well, at this minute
Nah.
in time, he's first choice. He's the starting goalkeeper at this minute
He's
in
number
time.
one.
I was about to say,
But the fact is for Celtic is they've got a big rebuilding job ahead of them. He's not going to be the goalkeeper next season. Well, he shouldn't be the goalkeeper next season. So there
no,
should be a
it
point
should,
where
should not be.
they just try the younger guys and see what they're like. It's worked with Stephen Welsh. What's wrong with trying it with the goalkeeper?
I mean, it was kind of working with Connor Hazard, and then he got a run of games, and then he just gets dropped out of nowhere for Barkas again, who I'm not convinced with, but
Yeah, obviously.
like they keep saying he's homesick and he's not settled. So
Uh,
don't know. Maybe he's absolutely world class when he's settled somewhere, but
Obviously,
doesn't seem
Neil
it.
Lennon has mentioned Barkas is not as physical. I don't know what it's got to
It's like
do with
fucking
him
goalkeeper.
saving shots, but yeah.
Not as physical as who Scott
No,
Bain.
his
But-
quote a couple of weeks back was he's just not as physical. He never
Not as
gave it a
physical.
reference to who.
I don't think any of Celtic's goalkeepers are really physical presences, are they? Connor Hazard and
he's
Ross
seen
Duhan are
Scott
very
Bain.
quite
He's like Mark
thin.
Henry.
You'd think that Barkas would be though. He's a big guy. He's not small statured. Fair enough. Connor Hazard is like 8 foot tall, but he's made of twigs.
Yeah, I think it's a confidence thing with all the keepers at Celtic at the minute. When they don't have a solid four in front of them, they seem to be crumbling. I think that's Barkas's biggest problem. That and he can't catch anything.
Yeah,
No, I agree.
I'd maybe be happy to give Barkas another chance with a solid back four in front of him and a manager who's competent and will actually give him a good run of games instead of like chopping and changing every 5 minutes. But yeah,
I mean, the guy did well in the Champions League last season. He had a really good standout performance against, was it Bayern Munich?
Yeah.
For
it's not
Athens.
it's not like players just like turn to dog shit over the space of a couple months.
Well, they do with no Lennon.
Oh yeah, there must be some sort of
The Neil
explanation.
Lennon
so,
effect.
Yeah, we'll move on from Celtic because honestly, we could do a whole separate podcast and just talk about the shambles that is at the moment. But we'll move on to another shambles of a football club, Aberdeen, as they were soundly beaten by Hibs 2-0.
Another game without a goal for Aberdeen.
What? How many is that in a row? Because I feel like I said this last week. Like they just can't score.
4 in
I
a row
think
now
it's-
without a goal.
They're doing it again.
Yep, 4 in a row.
Yeah, it's a poor run. I'd expect to be seeing McInnes leaving if this
Well,
continues.
we've got those leaked WhatsApp messages that stated that he's away.
Yeah, that's 1 win in 8 in 2021 for Derek McInnes' side.
Yeah, I'd be expecting him to see him go over the next week or two, maybe.
I don't understand why let these better players go. Obviously, it doesn't help they've struggled with injuries, particularly Hedges, who
I
I
don't-
think has had a very good season, obviously injured till
Out for the rest of the
out for
season
the rest
now,
of
yeah.
the season. Getting rid of Cosgrove, I think, is a good outball, but
I think the Cosgrove one's tough because they got offered like $3 million for him. They're not Aberdeen can't turn that much money down.
yeah, you're right.
Nah, I don't. I wouldn't blame McInnes for them losing players. I'd blame them for them playing badly, but at the end of the day, it's the club's decision to sell players and offload players, isn't it? So
Yeah, and this
not really much you can do apart from saying I want to keep them.
this season Cosgrove's not really offered too much anyway, and it was a fair price tag
Yeah,
to get it for him. I know a couple of Aberdeen fans who aren't really bothered because they went and bought a new full front line. So it's obviously something further up that's sort of been the issue with the goals.
the issue. Well, we'll talk about the game. And from watching it, Aberdeen started reasonably brightly. Had a wee spell of like getting to the edge of the box and then it kind of breaking down. Although there was a chance for Hibs quite early on, through Cadden when Lee just kind of falls over
Yep.
at the edge of the box and
Right.
Cadden's through on goal and
Injures
Kinda-
himself.
it kind of sclaffs the shot, like makes it quite easy for the keeper to get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what happened to Lee. He just looked like
It looked like he
Fell over
pulled
and then
his
he's-
hamstring, I think.
he's just like clutching at his
He
leg
got,
after that.
he got subbed off after that,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hopefully he's all right.
which is again more injury problems for
yep.
Big Derek.
After that,
Aberdeen actually had a decent chance after that.
Yeah, was it
No, they did
McCrory?
so.
It was McCrory, yeah.
Wasn't the best of shots in the end, just straight down Marciano's throat, but
It made him work though. It was a well hit shot, but just not well directed.
and then after that,
and then
all I've got written down is learn how to mark Martin Boyle, because he was in behind that defence about 4 or 5 times as the game went on.
he's a tricky wee player to try and mark. His pace is just too much for a lot of the defenders in this league.
It always surprises me how fast he is, because he doesn't look like a quick guy. And then he actually gets, once he gets going, he's off, isn't he?
Oh, it was actually Jamie Murphy that managed to get in, and then Ferguson just comes over and just body checks him. And you can't do that. In
But
Hearts.
it's what you're taught at Aberdeen though, because they're a big physical club and they just go through people.
Just run into players.
Yeah, it's how they're taught to defend.
They knew it was
Well,
Super Bowl weekend.
I'd advise them to not do that in the box, because you will give away a penalty.
Same.
Going forward. Derek,
And
if you're listening,
It was a penalty, and it was given, and it was soundly put away.
yep.
It was, yeah.
So
And
it's now 4 in his last 3 games for Martin Boyle, also including the 2 in this game.
Including the two in this.
I think
Yeah.
that puts him up to 8 for the season, is it? As
I
well?
think so.
Yeah,
I think it
something
was.
like
Not long after the penalty as well. This is on the point of learn how to mark Martin Boyle. Just no one seemed to mark, and he like straight ball through the middle from the edge of the box, and he was just no one there. Joe Lewis does
Yeah.
well to come out and make himself big. Finally learn how to make a save after his performance at against Livingston last week. But
I believe it was Jackson Irvine that played the pass, and I felt Jackson Irvine had a standout game again. Just his range of the wee like passing and stuff like that was superb for a guy that's obviously not played as much. Thought he's came in and done a real good job for Hibs.
well, him and Martin Boyle seem to have a good link up so far. The Aussie pals.
Yep. That does look a good signing for the club.
Yeah. And as you said, Martin Boyle did get a second goal in this game. And again, learn how to defend against Martin Boyle. What are you doing? He ends up just free in the box, essentially, and manages to work a shot. And, well, Joe Lewis has forgotten how to goalkeep. And it goes through his legs, and he's just kind of left wondering, why am I a goalkeeper?
Do you think that's what he was thinking?
Yeah.
I reckon he was. to be
Why
honest.
am I a goalkeeper?
Aberdeen is sitting there calling for it to be offside, but it just wasn't. Just
It was about 2 yards onside.
Boyle was just too fast for the defence.
It's one of those ones where there's 2 sides to it. Like, obviously he's good at making those runs, but it's just fucking shocking defending. That's all it is. It's very Aberdeen-like.
So, what do we all think? McInnes to go?
I've already said,
Yeah.
yeah, I think he'll be out in the next couple of weeks.
There's not too much out there for Aberdeen to get right now, so they might do it. Well,
Neil
I
Lennon.
assume what Celtic are doing is wait until the end of the season, so they
I
they
don't
might
know.
do the same. I don't know.
They
You're
can
saying
have
that
Neil
about Celtic, by the way, but Neil Lennon's he's come out and he said, on to the next 1, 2, 3, 4 seasons. 4 more years.
Well,
4 more years.
he has to
boys.
reignite the 10 in a row. He'll be here for another 10 years.
He will.
But they're here longer than that, the way it's going.
We'll move on. Livingston finally lose their unbeaten streak after 14 games, was it?
Something like that.
And they lose to St Johnstone 2-1 at home. What's your thoughts on this one?
I haven't seen the highlights.
It's tough.
Well, I'll start us off then. The first goal is all I've got written down is ha 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 ha. What is the goalie doing?
Oh, it was a
It's
good
a free
free
kick
kick by
from the-
Panzer.
It's a decent free kick, okay, but it looks like it's been rolled.
It
not
did
rolled, but,
bounce
like-
before going in.
It is good to
From
get
about
up and
20
down.
yards
It-
out.
He's got it up and down, but it's going so slow. Okay, Craig could catch it like you said earlier. The goalie's just kind of rooted to the spot and doesn't even attempt to
Stryjek
move
just
for it.
kind of stands there and just looks at it as it goes in.
Yeah, but I mean, it is a tough one for the goalie because if you get it up and down over the wall into the, well, it wasn't in the corner, but it was close to the side. But I don't think the goalie was expecting it to come in like that.
I think all credit to St Johnstone. I think they played very well against quite a difficult Livingstone side to beat. And it'll be interesting to see how the cup final goes in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, it was a rehearsal for the cup final.
On a worse pitch, but yeah. The second goal again, I've written lots of ha ha ha's. Because again, the goalkeeper doesn't move from the ball being hit in and the header being struck.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. As much as Stryjek has been quite good for Livingston so far this season, wasn't his best of games. It was a strange one for him to be brought in the first place because I thought McCrory was playing quite well, and then Stryjek came in, made himself worthy of the position. He's been playing well, but then poor game for him today, or not today, on Saturday.
It just like how it showed, like Livingston were just unbelievably poor for the second goal. Like it looked like they're either trying to zonal and man mark at the same time, and then just didn't know what to do.
It's uncharacteristic, I think, from a team that's been
It's back.
so well organised for the past 14 games. But you can have a blip. I think it's a blip. I don't think the game will reflect what the cup final will be. But David Martindale he's done a really good job. Turning it around. I wouldn't want him. I wouldn't want the team to maybe become Martin Stale.
That would be a Martin fail.
Oh, for God's
It'd
sake.
be it's terrible, I know. But I think they'll bounce back. They'll be fine. I think this is just a blip.
Yeah.
And I'd like to announce now that Billy and Jure will not be joining us in the next podcast after
Is
that.
there
Well,
the
it's been
CSI
fun.
Full
podcast?
display of patter.
Yep.
It's been fun while it lasted.
I seen today that the SPFL have Martin hailed him by giving him the Manager of the Month award as well.
Oh no!
We're down to the two-a-side podcast.
We're
Yeah.
down to 2.
Oh.
Oh, Jure's away. He's had enough.
Yeah, we get it. His name's Martindale. Okay, it rhymes with stuff.
He did get the Manager of the Month award. I didn't make that up.
He did, yeah.
He did get the Manager of the
For
Month award.
Well, and
But-
St Johnstone in the second half, they won a penalty, chance to make it 3-0. Stevie May just off the bench, and one of the worst penalties I've seen in a while.
I was going to say one of the worst penalties I've ever seen, and it made the goalkeeper actually look good for once in the match.
Yeah, I mean,
Where's he gone?
I don't know where he's gone. I was waiting for a jobby.
Oh, okay,
Forgot to press the button.
away for a jobby. He's back from his
He's
job.
back for his jobby.
For those listening to the podcast, I was peeing.
There you go.
Well,
There we go.
Alexa
Oh,
did the
God, this is
fastest
awful.
job in history.
there was possible late hope for Livy as Pittman managed to head it off the post and in.
Well, you got yourself very excited about this. You said, can Livy do it?
Well, yeah, I
no.
wanted the streak to go on. I really thought, and I chose them in a great bet this week, so I really wanted them
There
to win
is-
for that. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there is a reason that St Johnstone are called the Brock Lesnar of the SPFL. Have to end the streak somewhere.
that's true. I do think Livy will bounce back. They've got a home to Hamilton at the weekend, who aren't a very good team.
No, they're not a very good team.
No.
That credit though to St Johnstone, that's them only one loss in their last 9 games, and the only loss was last week when they were cheated against Rangers. So should be no losses in
Yep.
the last 9. So they're in some decent form going into that final.
Yeah. We'll move from talking about Hamilton there to talking about two really bad teams, Ross County and Dundee United. Dundee United back to winning ways after their horrible run with a 2-0 victory.
To be expected back to winning ways, to be fair. I was the only one that predicted it, but Ross County are a bit rubbish.
They are.
I never seen it
Yeah,
coming.
but Dundee United are fucking rubbish.
Honestly, I never seen it coming.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
I thought you could turn Ross County around, but it feels as if they've gone back to square one again.
Yeah,
These things happen in football.
they do.
You know,
Craig's favourite player, Lawrence Shanklin, got himself a goal again. For the first time in what feels like years, he's scored.
Well, he needs to get himself back on the score sheet coming up to the Euros. I've said this a few times for
no,
different
that's
Or
players,
else they
but
won't be on the plane.
chances are probably not. But,
Tell you what, Craig's squad for the Euros he'd just be taking a lot of players that he talks about here.
well, I just think there's a lot of players that are on the fringes of squads, and the players that are that were in the squad, like they've got Steve Clark's got this cut his squad down by about 7 players, I think, and some of these players just might not make the cut, but just depends on form between now and the end of the season.
We'll move from terrible teams to terrible team Kilmarnock, continuing their losing run.
Uh-oh.
A 2-0 loss to St
Here he
Mirren.
comes.
well,
His blood is boiling.
this was, I tell you what, Kilmarnock were dreadful. Dreadful. They made St Mirren look like Man City. They were that bad. They've brought in Tommy Knight today, which I think might help them. But Tommy Knight's a very good manager, but he's not a miracle worker.
So are they still going down?
Yes, I think they will. I think the squad isn't good enough. You can have a very good manager, but the squad is just not good enough to cut it out at this level. Kilmarnock were dreadful from start to finish. St Mirren thoroughly deserved the victory. Dreadful mistake for the second goal. I have no idea what Power's doing. Just decides he's just going to dance with the ball in the box, and then I'll just dance around with it, and striker comes in, bang, 1-on-1 with the keeper. It's the Mincy keeper from Wednesday. He just stands just looking at it like it doesn't know what to do. He's seen like a ghost, and then bang, 2-0. But yeah, Kilmarnock doesn't get easier for them.
I feel this podcast is becoming the We Hate Kelly podcast. To clarify, I still think they'll stay up. I think Tommy Wright's a good enough manager. They've got a couple of decent midfielders. I reckon get a couple of results in. I know Billy right now is shaking his head in disgust because they don't show any passion, which was.
Yeah, we'll move on to an even worse team in Glasgow Rangers, away to Hamilton, drawing 1 each. Ross Stewart, tell us your thoughts on that game.
Well, as you know, Rangers riding high at the top of the league, currently strolling it on easy street. I could use more superlatives if we want.
Well, obviously it wasn't easy street because
you
let Hamilton
you
score.
never let me finish until we met the mighty Hamilton.
Well, Rangers.
And Hamilton, Oh, well, Craig's interrupting my speech.
Your speech.
Go on.
Cheers monologue.
It's a monologue, not a dialogue. So,
That's it.
He's vibing here.
credit to Hamilton. I thought they were excellent and probably deserved the win if it wasn't for Alan McGregor's about 6 saves, which is the most he's had to make all season.
Not Hamilton, Rangers, they realised that Celtic were going to drop points between now and the Old Firm, so they had to drop points as well to continue the chance with them of them winning at Celtic Park. That was the only reason.
That's why we played Zungu, which Billy, I believe you watched the game. You can tell us about Zungu.
I did, and that is by far the worst midfield performance I've ever seen.
Just
I've
ever.
seen. Just ever. It just, couldn't do the basics right. It just lacked any sort of ability. It like they just got some punter from the Morrison or the Sainsbury's behind the car park and just went, here, you play midfield. It was awful, just absolutely awful.
Yeah.
Think
This
it's
guy
good
has
for
a
Kelly.
You might get a guy.
Well, obviously, Zungu on loan from Amiens, I think they want 3 million, which obviously I don't see Rangers
Daylight robbery.
paying at this point.
I don't like Rangers, but I beg them, do not pay the money for him.
I think it'd be such a waste of money.
I think, Gerrard was quite scathing in his post-match interview. He said a few players were not up to the standard. I think it was quite easy to know who he was talking about. Zungu, Eaton, a few
I
others
actually
as
feel
well.
Itten just didn't have the service in the first half. I felt Kent had a stinker, to be honest.
There was a few.
There was 11. Well, there was 10 apart from
No, it wasn't.
Alan McGregor.
I did see someone saying, like, for, what was it, 7 million, do you not expect more from Kent? I'm asking you, Drew, considering you're a Rangers fan.
I think obviously you do expect a wee bit more. The guy, obviously, you can see he's a talent. He does obviously contribute a goal or assist every 2 games, which is still decent numbers, but I think you got to be looking at it against Hamilton. I think you've got to be doing a bit better. You got to put on a bit of the magic, which let's just say the magic was gone. He had a stinker.
I just want to know what's happened to Bruce Anderson between when he left there and to when he's joined Hamilton. He seems like a different player. He caused Rangers so many problems.
He nearly scored from a header as well. It was a really good save from Alan McGregor.
Yeah, but they eventually Hamilton did score from that header anyway, from the rebound of the save anyway.
Yeah.
But going back to
Alan McGregor own goal, as Chris Boyd called it for some reason.
Well, I have got it written down that it's probably a McGregor own goal, but it's tough to take the goal away from Callaghan.
But we'll go back to Rangers getting the goal, and they would have thought they'd done enough to steal the points away from Hamilton through an Easton own goal.
It's one of those ones where Barisic, he puts a really good ball into the middle there, and there's bodies there. If it hits off someone, it's going to go into the net. There's your chances.
Yeah. Under the net.
Did I say under the net? Well, it's going to go
under
the bar, into the net.
Under the bar, into the net.
Into the net.
Yeah, no, it's Barisic is building himself a name for doing that, for putting really good crosses in and putting them into dangerous areas, and anyone touches that and it's in the back of the net, and it just happened to be the Hamilton man.
That's Barisic's 11th assist in all competitions so far this season.
Yep, he'll be gone.
Obviously spectacular from a left back.
He will be gone.
Yeah.
Knowing his agent, who's his dad, he will be gone.
Yep, he will as well.
Great credit to Hamilton. I thought they were superb. Like they're one of the only few teams this season to actually press Rangers. They didn't sit back at all. They were aggressive. They were just hungry. They were hungry. And, I honestly feel they deserved all 3 points.
They eventually did get themselves a point with virtually the last kick of the ball. And honestly, it's the most amateur I've seen Rangers defend all season. With the ball coming in and then just not dealing with it, not getting it away, and the second ball falls and it's snuck into the net. really see how, but it has. It's gone in, and it's earned them a point.
Yeah, and I know a lot of Rangers fans are blaming Hollander and Goldson, who both had poor games. But it's the 94th minute, and James Tavernier is playing right forward when he's meant to be playing right back.
Yeah, it should be back in there.
He
Back
was
in
nowhere
there,
near in
sitting
possession.
back.
The ball comes in. Stephen Davis, who's 102, is sprinting a gut to try and block the cross. It's not his fault, but Hamilton deserved the point for sure. No one can argue that.
Yep.
It was a big point for Hamilton. It moves them only 3 points behind Ross County now. Hunting for that.
Couple of games in hand though,
Get
as
them
well,
off the
don't they?
bottom. Yeah, they've got 2 games in hand over Ross County. 1 game in hand over Kelly, but they're 4 points behind Kelly. But I'm still tipping Hamilton to go down.
Nah, they've got an act for staying up. They keep defying the odds.
I don't see it again this season though. I just don't.
If they play as well as they did against Rangers, I think they stand a good chance of staying up. Obviously,
My money's on Ross
consistency
County.
is why they're there. Yeah, my money's
My
on,
money is
on
on Ross County.
Well, that's all the games from the weekend. So we'll look to midweek again. More midweek fixtures. I think 5 we've got across the Championship and the Premiership.
Hopefully 5.
2 Championship,
their
3
games
Premiership. Yeah. So we've started a little game with the predictions. So everyone's gonna give their predictions, and basically like Super 6 in England, you get 5 points if you get the score correctly, and 2 points if you get the result correct. Without further ado, Craig, Dundee United. I don't know why I said that. Dundee v Ayr United. What do you think the score is going to be?
2-0 to Ayr.
2-0 to Ayr. Bold. Okay. Billy.
Oh, got a tough game. Probably. Can I go postponed? Is that just?
I was going to
You
suggest
have to
that.
give us a score result, please.
Tough one. I think Dundee will just edge it 2-1 Dundee.
RD Jurman.
As all my friends call me. I think it will be 3-1 to Dundee.
Matt.
I've went for 1 each.
And finally myself, I have written down already my score prediction. 6-2 to Dundee.
Oh, you're getting no
6-2?
points
Bloody
this
hell.
week.
Yep. I'm feeling a thrilling game. The next game,
It could be
also
water
in the
football.
Championship. Also in the Championship, Inverness, Alloa. Craig, your prediction.
I'm going to go for 2-1 to Alloa. Continue their form. Pipping down Inverness.
Billy.
Depends which Inverness turns up.
Hopefully
Probably
Caledonian
Thistle.
Thistle.
Yeah.
yeah, very funny. I'm gonna go 1 each.
Jura.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go nothing each. I think it's going to be a snooze fest.
And Matt.
Yeah, I'll go with 2-0 Inverness. I think they'll turn up.
And I'm going for 1 each also. Which takes us to the Premiership. Kilmarnock, Motherwell, Craig.
Continuing with my trend of 2 away wins so far, I'm going to go for a third away win. 3-0.
Billy.
Bounce back effect for Kelly with the new manager, but not enough to win. 1 each.
Jura.
Yeah, I'm going to say 2-1 Kelly. I think Kelly will bounce back under Tommy Wright.
And Matt.
I think this is going to be the snooze fest. I'm going for 0-0.
I'm going to go 3-0 to Motherwell. because Kelly are gash and they're going to keep being gash. The next game, Livingston Hamilton.
It's going to be a really exciting end-to-end game here. 4-2.
Oh,
I think it could be a good game. Again, I think I'm going to go for another draw. I'm going to go 2 each.
I'm going to go Livingston 2, Hamilton 1.
and I'm going to go with 1-0 Livingston.
I'll give you 2-1 to Livingston as well. Which takes us to our final game, St Mirren Celtic.
I think we upsetting the cards here. 1-0 St Mirren.
As I said on Saturday when I predicted the Celtic Motherwell game, Celtic to win, but just 2-1 Celtic.
I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. I think St Mirren will cause Celtic problems.
Yeah, I'm gonna join Craig with an upset and say Celtic to win. I think 4-1 this time though.
Finally, it's my turn. I'm going to go dazzling Celtic 7-0.
7.
Do you just not want any points in this game?
I don't want any points in this game. No,
Zero
I've
points
I've
and
gone
rock
bold.
bottom.
I've gone bold, and you'll all be eating hats at the end of the week. Okay.
Are we gonna go through last week's results? Or we're just not mentioning it.
Well, I'll tell you the scores from last week. So, sitting rock bottom of the table with scores of 6 is myself and Dewar. Not a great week for us.
Do you mean 4th and 5th in the
Craig resoundingly quite ahead of us on 11 points. And topping the table in a joint first place is Matt and Billy with 13 points.
Do you want to explain to the
Thank you.
viewers how we track the point system, Ferg?
Already did that. Actually, if you listened, if you paid attention.
Just work it out.
I already did it, so I'm not going to repeat
Did you?
myself.
Sorry, my mistake.
And yeah, we're going to say goodbye. So, Matt,
Yeah, I hope we all have a good week. See, hopefully some good fixtures to look forward to. We'll see you then.
Bill,
Good night. May the ball roll kindly.
Craig,
Thank you for listening. Follow us on all our socials. You'll find them in the links in our bios. And thanks again to Ryan for the intro.
and Mr. Excitement.
Well, you know me. I just want to thank everyone again for taking the opportunity to listen to us. And thanks again to Ryan for the intro and outro, which you'll hear after Ferg's final wishes.
Yeah. And again, as always, we've had fun. I hope you have fun listening to our exciting chats. And we'll catch you on Thursday, I think. Goodbye.